All right. Mr. Greg Miller, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Rob? Thanks for having me on.
Brother, I'm great. I'm a lot better now that I'm talking with you. Super glad
Likewise.
to be, yeah, super glad to be connected, man. Obviously, big fan. I see on the streets of grace, so to say, at church, basketball courts out in the real estate world, all over the place, man. So good to see you here on cyberspace. I know we were going to try to get together kind of face to face, but my schedule got a little wonky today, but
You
glad
were
to
scared. You were scared to
right.
have me in your house. I can't blame
You
you.
you do intimidate me. You do intimidate. This isn't
Yeah.
my house. This is actually my office, though. So, yeah, I've got like a little space that I rent over in Office Evolution up in over by the Flatirons Mall there. So,
You were
so
scared. I know. I
it's
know.
good.
I've been there. Remember, I was
It,
there.
it works
Yeah.
out. It works out well, man.
Yeah.
So, right on, Greg. Well, yeah, glad to be talking with you. Obviously, same line of work here. You're in real estate. You're with Nav Real Estate. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you're doing? What I like to do on these is just kind of talk, just talk shop. Like what
Yeah.
are you seeing out there? What's working? Like what are challenges that buyers and sellers are facing? Market trends, all that good stuff. So why don't we just kind of dive into that and just have a conversation here? So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us a little bit.
So, I've been with NAB Real Estate for, I don't know, 8 months now. I've been a real estate agent for 26 years now. So, I've seen the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, Seen interest rates go up and down, from 2% now at six and a quarter, whatever they are now, which I think is kind of interesting, maybe laughable that people say rates are so high now, right? Which uh, I think is all relative. Um, I would liken that to I have a buddy who's from Arizona, right? And when we say it's hot at 90 degrees, he says, "Wow, that's really comfortable. That's pretty nice where I came from." And just like that with interest rates, um, when my mom bought her house in 1970, interest rates were 13 and a half.
Sure.
And and I know you probably remember interest rates in 1985 were 18 and a half. So when people say that interest rates are so high right now, I'm like, compared to what? Not
Sure.
compared to your credit card.
Yeah.
So, right. So I think it's a great time to buy. Um, I see the market right now as balanced, which is a good thing, right? Um, if you price your house appropriately right now, it will sell quick, and quick meaning a month, maybe a month and a half, which is still a very reasonable time, right?
Yeah.
Um, and now with the market being balanced, you can ask the seller for concessions, which is a really good thing. It allows more people to get into houses now,
Yeah.
right? So um, I think it's a really good market now. It's not heavily weighed either way.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a great point. You and I met, I want to say like 2022, maybe the first part of 2023. I
yeah,
somewhere right around there. And obviously we're coming off like the backside of COVID when you had all those appraisal gaps going on, and you would see like those bidding offers and those days like where you'd put a property on the market and all of a sudden you'd have like 15 offers over the weekend. Those days are absolutely in the rearview mirror. Like
yeah,
those don't exist anymore right now. And so I think that is a good thing with where we are. There's always trade-offs, right? No matter what it is that you're talking about in life. And
exactly.
a lot of people, what you hear on the news, what you see, and just conversations that you're having with people. I made a video about this just a couple days ago, talking about how a lot of people feel almost stuck just because they have a 3.5% interest rate, in spite of things that have happened in their life. Maybe their
Yeah,
family's growing. Maybe there has been, a divorce or a job relocation or whatever. And for whatever reason, you know, those those life events aren't enough for them to be able to make a move because they have a 3.5% interest rate. I was on a conference call earlier today, and we were just having a conversation about how, if you look at people's overall financial profile, not necessarily just what their house payment is and their corresponding interest rates on where they are at the moment, but their overall financial profile, like, auto loans, high interest rate credit cards, you mentioned those, whatever debt obligations they have, a lot of times people have those going on. They don't just owe on a home, they owe on several things.
Yes,
And if you can turn
absolutely.
around and you can sell your house and not necessarily take all that money and put it into the new house, maybe you use that money to pay off those debts, those high interest rate credit cards, some of those auto loans, and then you put less down on your new house. The delta or the difference between what your current monthly debt obligation is right now with all those other payments in conjunction with your 3.5% interest rate on your house isn't that far off from where your house payment would be right now if you put down less and you were at the given interest rates where the current market is. And
Yeah.
so I really like what you're saying about how there are options that people have. I think that our job as people that are in this line of work, professionals, is to just help people understand the pathway. Because I think that it's, if you don't see it, you're not having conversations with people on a regular basis, it's hard to come to those conclusions when you're the consumer.
Right. And a lot of it is based on what people hear in the media, which is always based on fear, right?
Yeah.
The interest rates are so high and the market is falling out, the bottom's falling out. It's always the sky is falling, right? Which isn't true.
Yeah.
And I think that's our job to educate our clients, which is the biggest part of what we do. It's not what we do, it's what we know, right?
Yeah.
And helping them understand the pros and cons. And I like what you said earlier is, what you gain on one side, you're going to lose on the other, right? And I think now what I was talking about before is the market is balanced. So you're really not losing or gaining a lot on either side. So I
Yeah.
think if you want to sell, it's a good time. If you want to buy, it's a good time. When it was 2022 and the market was super seller strong, it wasn't a great time to buy. Yet
Yeah.
you had all these buyers coming out of the woodwork saying, I want to buy, I want to buy. And they having to compete against 15 other offers. And
Yeah.
it was almost impossible if you had an FHA loan. Super frustrating as a buyer and as their agent trying to help them. Like if you have an FHA loan back in that market, you weren't getting into a house, right?
Right.
You
It was very tough. Yeah. Down
Yeah.
payment assistance, FHA. It was very tough in that environment, like you said, that we were in for sure.
Yeah. And
Um,
now buyers are like, well, I want to wait till interest rates come down. And then you're going to have um, the market, like maybe not as bad as it was, but then you'll have competing offers again if the rates do come down much lower. I think a lot of buyers are waiting for that, which that's not the smart move to wait. You buy when it's a buyer's market. You sell when it's a seller's market.
yeah. I 100% agree with you. Kind of going back to that window, that time frame of the spring of 2022 when rates started going up. In to the fact that you said that the majority of buyers are just kind of sitting and waiting for interest rates to come down or for something catastrophic to happen or
Yeah.
whatever the reason or rationale is behind where their current stance is. If you look at it, rates went in 2022 from, we'll call it 3.5% to 7.5% in 9 months. So it was a very large jump. I know rates have been higher, but I don't know that they've ever jumped that fast before. Like they went up 4 percentage points in like 8 months or something like that.
Yeah.
It was insane. But if you look at where we are today, and you were talking about like rates somewhere around 6.25, FHA, you're probably somewhere around there. Conventional, you're probably 6.75, something like that. Those are just kind of rough estimates right now based off of what like Housing Wire is saying and everybody else. Everybody's situation is different. But if you look at that, 7.5% by the end of 2022, I think 2023 the fall of 2023 was the highest that I've personally have ever seen interest rates in my career. And they got up to about 8.25, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think pricing options around 8.25 back in October of 2023. And now they've kind of come back down to like the high sixes, somewhere right around there. Beginning of this year, it was looking like we might have seen like high fives, mid fives, by this time of year. But obviously everything happens kind of economically, and just everything just overseas and stuff is going on. But my point in bringing all this up is people that have been waiting the last 4 years to make a move with regard to selling a home, buying a home, upgrading a home, whatever their situation is, getting into becoming an investor, buying an investment property, or getting a second home, or whatever goal that they have financially. If you look at I don't want to put you on the spot and I won't hold you to this, but what would you say average home appreciation is year over year? Just kind of conservative, like what is a conservative estimation for average appreciation year over year? What would you say?
I'd say 10%.
Really? I was going to say 3.
Oh, 3?
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like year over year, compared to like what it was in 2020.
No, last year.
Oh, last year? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 is probably high. I was taking an average of, when it was really good and now, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember in like 2020, I think, weren't we looking at like 15%, something like that, or even higher?
Which is So I guess where I'm coming from with this is, we're back to like what you mentioned, a kind of a stable market, right? As far as you're not seeing an advantage one way or the other for sellers and buyers. I do think that buyers have a ton of options right now. Sellers are starting to, for sure, know that and recognize that and adjust accordingly. And that's why they're doing like what you're discussing, giving seller concessions to try to sell their houses and just be more attractive to prospective buyers. 100% agree with you on that. But let's say, let's be like super conservative. And let's say like 3%, right? So if a home back, 4 years ago in April of 2022, let's just do the last 4 years. Let's say that home was 500,000 and average appreciation was 3% year over year. That's $15,000 per year. So 15 times 4 years, you're looking at a $60,000 price increase to that property while interest rates have not come down. Really?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that is such a tangible, just factor that people have to consider. The ones that are using I don't want to say excuse, but just the reasoning or the rationale of waiting. I'm waiting until interest rates come down. Okay, well, you've got 2 things working against you. One is just natural, normal appreciation that happens year over year. It doesn't matter like what year it is. There's going to be some form of appreciation that happens. It may not be drastic, but the house is going to go up in value. And the point that you brought up, where once interest rates do come down, I think that I read for every 1% reduction in the overall interest rate, there are 5.5 million more people that automatically become qualified from a debt to income ratio standpoint.
Oh, wow.
So as soon as you go from 8.25 to 7.25, you're competing with 5.5 million more people nationally, right? You go from 7 to 6.
That makes total sense. Yeah, that's good.
You're dealing with another 5.5. Yeah. So you're up to 11 million people that over the last couple of years have the possibility or the capability of jumping back into the market.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be fighting against natural, normal appreciation that happens year over year. Plus, once rates do come down, again, like you mentioned, you're just going to have natural competition because there's going to be more buyers that flood the market.
Right. And I ask, my question to that would be, would you be able to save $60,000 in 4 years? Probably not. Would you be able to save even $15,000 in 4 years?
Tough,
Probably
man.
not.
Yeah. It'd be really, really tough. So I heard a friend, he's another mortgage guy, and he would always liken buying houses to getting on a train. You have to get on the train. Once you get on the train, you have stops that you can get off and get onto other trains down the line. But if you don't ever get on the train, it becomes more and more difficult to actually jump on a train initially. And so
Yeah.
the faster it, what I don't like telling people is I never pressure people. I never tell people, I never try to convince people you need to go buy a house. But if somebody comes to me and they're like, I'm tired of renting, I want to buy a house, I do believe that it's my job to show them every pathway forward to be able to make that happen. Because the sooner they can make that happen, the more options they're going to have 5, 10, 15 years down the road. And man, I look at, you and I were talking about our kids growing up and just how fast time goes. 15 years
Yep.
goes by incredibly quick. I've been in my house for 18 years now, and
Wow.
and it's gone fast. 18 years is a
Yeah.
long time, but it's gone by really freaking quick, man.
Yeah. Before you know it, your kids will be graduating college and you'll be at a wedding, and then you'll be a grandpa, and it'll
Like
be here before you know it. And I
like you'll
know
be
that because I've experienced it. And
yeah,
literally, I remember like it was yesterday dropping off my son at kindergarten. And then I
yeah.
remember him leaving for college, and now I have a 3-year-old grandson, and it goes by so fast, so fast. It's almost disturbing how fast it goes.
So from a personal standpoint and a sentimental standpoint, that makes me sad because like I see my son just getting older and just kind of
Yeah,
needing me less and less and less in life, right?
yeah,
And
it happens.
from a professional standpoint, though, I think that that is such a good just knowledge base to have to be able to communicate to especially like first time home buyers, young people that are looking to get into the housing market.
Yeah,
Time goes by so much quicker than you think, and if you know that you are going to buy a home, let's formulate a plan and figure out a way to make that happen for you sooner rather than later so that time can work for you. You have that compound effect like you were talking about. 60 G's over 4 years, I would say probably 9.5% out of people, 9.5 out of 10 of people cannot afford to do that. They will not save $60,000 in 4 years. The
right. So,
majority of
like, why wouldn't you buy if you have the opportunity to buy? And I think with rents, how they are here in Colorado, if you can afford $2,000 a month in rent, you probably can buy something. It might not be, it probably won't be your dream house, but that's not where you start, right?
Yep.
You don't start in your your 3-bedroom house with a 2-car garage and a big yard. You start in a condo, and then
Yeah.
you work up every 5 years. Let's say you sell it, you take the equity that you earned, that 60,000, use that for your down payment, and you have the same payment as you did before. It allows you to buy up a nicer house, and then by your third, fourth, fifth house, you're in your dream house, right? But you
Yep.
have to take that first step. You have to get on the train in order to get there. I love that analogy about the train.
Yeah.
That's really
It
good.
it makes sense, man. And I look at topics or things that I don't like. I had a meeting with my financial advisor the other day, and there's a lot of things that we were talking about where I'm just like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I need you to help me. I need you to help me kind
Yeah.
of navigate that because you see this on a very regular basis, and I look at what we do in the mortgage and real estate space, and for us to be able to be an advocate, I look at myself a as somebody that has you hear people talk about like a fiduciary responsibility. It's I need to advise people in a way where it is genuinely going to be something that is going to benefit and profit their financial future.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that do various jobs in the finance sector, and they may or may not have people's best interest at the top of mind when they're advising people. Dude, I've told
Great.
probably 6 people in the last 3 months, it does not make sense for you to do a refinance. You need to not touch your loan. And I'm not talking about like people that got like a 3.5% interest rate. I'm talking about people that
Yeah.
have like a 6.25% interest rate or whatever. It's like it doesn't make any sense for you to go from 6.25 down to 6.125. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
And so I think that we have this responsibility to be forthright, put other people ahead of ourselves, and when we do that, I think that comes out in conversation that we have with people, and we're able to build trust. We're able to help people. We're able to, get them to where they ultimately want to end up.
I love that. The one thing I tell my clients when I first meet them is this process, you buying a house, it's your agenda, not mine. This really has nothing to do with me. I'm just here to walk you down the path and show you the ins and outs. I always liken it to, we've all watched a scary movie before, right? And it's scary the first time you watch it, but it's not scary the second time. Why? Because you know what's going to happen. And that's our job as a lender, as the realtor in the transaction, is to show you what's going to happen. So you don't have surprises. So you don't get taken advantage of. We're there as advocates. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. And I was talking with a friend today, and she and I were just having a conversation about like how there's a sense of fulfillment that comes from that, right? Knowing that you are putting other people ahead of yourself and you are advising them in a way that is truly going to set them up for success. Not just right now, but like their kids and their kids down the line. There is a, because I don't know about you, but like I struggle with this at times. It's like I'll be in my office, I'll be working, or I'll be out networking, whatever, and I feel like, gosh, man, like is this really even doing anything? Like, am I really helping anybody? Am I there's like is this the best use of not necessarily even my time, but like just who I am as a person? But then like I have conversations with clients, and dude, like I got a text from a past client who I actually used to coach way back in the day. And he texted me and he was like, "Hey, I appreciate you so much. You've coached me. I'm married now. I have a family. You've helped me with a couple of loans." And it's just, it's good to see that like the fruits of our labor are, when they're in the right place and the focus is in the right place. It's just good to see that, man. And that makes me feel good inside,
Yeah, I love that. And I can tell you throughout my career, most of my clients, we become family, because it's not a transaction for me. It's a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And there's still clients that I talked to that I sold a house 20 years ago, and we don't really talk shop. Them selling their house, I want to know how their kids are doing. I want to know how the family's doing, because when you go through something like a real estate transaction, you go through some stuff together typically, right?
Yeah.
It typically doesn't go super smooth every time. Hardly ever does, right? There's always some bumps in the road. You go through some stuff together, and through that, you bond and you become friends, you become family through that. And for me, that's why I love this career. It's not about selling, it's about the relationship. And that's why if I had to do it over again, I would choose real estate again.
That's awesome, dude. I 1,000% believe you, and I agree with you. Very much so. And the reason why I'm able to say that is because I don't have like this massive team. Like I'm not trying to scale. I'm not trying to like, I want it to be something where, dude, like when I'm introduced to a family, I'm the person that they work with. Like they'll have like, processing and stuff, but like I am the person that is guiding them. I'm the person that is teeing everything up. Hey, we've got this challenge, but here are 3 ways that we're going to overcome this, and I really genuinely believe that it is easy to be successful in this line of work when you've got the right heart and you are the one that is actually vested in the the home buying process. You know, I'm not handing somebody off to 2 or 3 people below me. There's so many people that I know that do that, and they've got great businesses, you know, and I'm not saying that there's a right way to run your business. I know for me personally, I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that. Like, I want to be the person that is involved in building these relationships with people, because when you are, I really believe that what happens is your business almost turns into more of a physician's practice than it does a transaction, right? Because you can go to Costco and they can do a loan for you. You can go to some, you know, budget real estate outfit and they can go find a house for you. But when things go sideways, when things are difficult, your earnest money's on the line, you know, something comes up that, you know, there's, like you said, there's always challenges that come up. You know, and if you've got the right people in your corner that are working for you on your behalf, and you've put trust in those people, and those people are, you know, hey, I'm vested too. I'm going to do everything I can to get you to the finish line. I really think that you do end up building a business that is more like a physician's practice, because think about it. Every time you have some, you know, your health takes a ding, or, you know, you injure yourself or whatever, you don't go see a different doctor every single time something comes up from a health standpoint. You go to the same doctor because you've built trust with that individual or with that office, and you know that they have your best interest in mind. And so I think that the reason why the 400 plus people that I've worked with since I've been doing this independently, going back to 2014, the reason why they come back to me is because I've been very much a part of this. It's not somebody that I get introduced to somebody and then I hand them off to 4 other people. That's never happened with me, and it never ever will. And I think that that's why things have always been okay. You know,
I love that. I love that. You know, I often say, this isn't fast food for me.
Yeah.
This is fine dining, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to cater to your every need. Every time you take a sip, I'm going to fill your cup.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not fast food.
Yeah.
I'm not serving French fries. I'm serving filet mignon.
That's sweet, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, dude, hey, one thing I like to do on these is just kind of just personally, man, like what are some fun things you got going on right now? Like, what are some areas in your life that you're growing in? What do you got going on personally, Greg?
You know, I play golf, and that's been, so I played basketball up until I was 50, and then the body gave out. And I started playing golf. So that was like 5 years ago. And I always have to be like chasing something, right? And for me, it's been golf. And it's my drug of choice, as I like to say. I love to go hit balls. It puts me just in a place where I can just kind of zone in and just find that sweet spot. And you know, I can be having a bad day and I go hit balls and I come back and I'm a happy camper again. So I would like to say that I'm chasing scratch, right?
How
Most
far
people
off?
know what a scratch golfer is, right? And I'm close, but close is like it's like looking at lingerie through a window.
But how far off are you from it, man?
I think I'm like a 5 or 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, you know, but that's kind of that's a long way to go. And, you know, but from where I started, like when I started, man, you're terrible at golf, no matter where you start. Like golf is hard.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's fun. It's a fun challenge.
Yeah. I know we were talking the other day, man, just about like how counterintuitive it is. You know,
Yeah.
you think that, okay, cool, I just got to try harder. No, man, you don't.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way. It's not like basketball or something where you can hustle more.
I'm gonna hit the ball a lot farther. I'm just gonna hit the crud out of it. You know,
yeah,
it's not gonna help you.
it was funny. A guy from church, my buddy Ricky Bobby, we're playing, and I think we were at we just had got done with 7 at Westwoods, and he looked at me, and goes, "Dang, bro, you're even right now." I was like, "Why would you do that? Why would you say that?"
It's like
like throwing a no-hitter, right? Like you don't say anything. He's like, "Dang, bro, you're like scratch." I'm like, "Dude, stop doing that."
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And then it started raining, so we got rained out. But I
Yeah,
was like, come on, man.
that's
Why are you
great.
trying to mess me up?
I don't know if I've ever asked you this. Do you read books at all? Like, are you reading anything? Are you like, what do you do professional development wise?
I read the Bible a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
awesome.
and not just for, I guess, for to learn, but to just increase my relationship with God. And it's if there's a self-help book out there that that anybody would want to read, I mean, the Bible is better than anything out there. I think you could read Proverbs every day.
Yeah,
There's 31 of them. If you
yep.
read one of those a day, I don't think you could ever go wrong with just reading a proverb a day.
Yeah.
How
I
about
agree.
you? Is there a book out there you're reading right now?
Man, I read a bunch. Do you know who Myron Golden is?
Yes, I love Myron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too, man. I love what he says when he talked about how he looks at everything through the lens of scripture, right?
Mm,
And
got
how
to.
if it lines up with scripture, he adopts it. He's
Yes.
like, cool, this is good insight. This adds to like this is tangible. I see what the Bible is talking about with regard to my job as a mortgage professional because
Yeah.
of this guy's point of view. It lines up. But then Myron also says that if it doesn't line up, he gets rid of it. Like he won't entertain it. He doesn't move on and doesn't continue the practice or the principle
Yeah.
or reading the book or whatever it is, right? And so I'm reading a book right now called Blue Ocean Strategy, and it's really good. I really enjoy it a whole lot. I feel like have you ever read the book Who Moved My Cheese? I think that's what it's
Yes.
called.
Yes, I have. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good book. Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like it is a more academic, in-depth version of Who Moved My Cheese, right? Like
Mm,
what used to work doesn't work anymore. And if that is indeed the case and it doesn't work anymore, the majority of people that do whatever for a job or, in life, they think that they just have to double down or just go all in on how things used to work and they'll just kind of like fight their way through it, right? But the whole premise of this book is you have this comparison between you have red ocean and you have blue ocean, and red ocean is like there's blood in the water, like it's not
mm,
the job's not working the way that it used to work anymore. Blue ocean is okay, this is something totally different that nobody's doing right now, and it shifts the focus off of okay, this is what our competitors are doing, so therefore we need to up our game to be able to like outproduce our competitors and stuff. But the whole premise of the book is no, don't do that. You need to create something in a way that your competitors are like irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the other people are doing because you're doing something totally different. And so I feel like the past 4 years, I had a post on social about this the other night. The past 4 years have been the most challenging, humbling 4 years of my entire life. Because I went from like I was always consistent in mortgage. I never viewed 2020 and 21 as as like the new normal. I knew that that was not sustainable. I knew that
right.
2.5%, 3% interest rates, was not going to be something that was sustainable. But prior to that, I was very consistent, man. I was always helping 3 to 4 families every single month with home finance needs, purchases, refinances, whatever. I was super consistent. The last 4 years, it has been so inconsistent. And I went from doing really well to bro, like being on life support,
Yeah.
like financially and just even like, when you go from being successful and doing really well to just barely making it, that is very, very humbling.
Humbling.
It's
Yeah.
very, very humbling, man. And I feel like I've tried to be kind to myself through that process and know and realize that like the job has gotten it's gotten harder. Mortgage companies have gone out of business. I mean, it's definitely it's gotten harder. So I'm kind to myself because like I'm not putting all the blame on me. Um, but I feel like I've also like grown quite a bit too. like
you got to learn from it, right?
I feel like I'm more open to whatever it is that needs to change in my life. And I was even praying, like today I had this appointment this morning. I was praying on the way back, and I was just like, Lord, like I will do whatever you want me to do. Like I just need you to
Love that.
just show me what that looks like, who I need to be talking with, or what I need to be doing with my time, or whatever. Like I'm down. I'm committed. I'm down. I just need to know that the steps that I'm taking are the steps I'm supposed to be taking, And so I feel like through this process, man, through like these last 4 years, it's really it's you hear people say like when things get hard, you either like grow closer to God or you grow further away from him, and I think that things have gotten hard over the last 4 years. And I think that I've done an okay job at getting closer to him. Like I've been intentional about not growing farther away. When I know that I know that I could, man. Like I still get up, like I read a proverb every morning, like you're talking about. I was sharing with somebody recently where whenever I do feel anxiety or, I get depressed or whatever, I try to use that as like a catalyst to cast my anxieties on him because he cares for us, so like I'm trying to live out what scripture says and just make sure that I'm as close to Jesus as I possibly can be,
I love that.
So
I hear God say, "You don't trust me? Really?
Yeah.
We've been down this path before and you still don't trust me. Really?"
I'm thankful
I'm
for
like,
I'm thankful for patience and I'm thankful for grace, man.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of times I'll read the Bible, and I'm like, man, those guys are idiots. They walked around for 40 years in the desert. And then I heard that story and I'm like, yeah, I guess I did the same thing in my life.
Yeah.
Or, I remember hearing the story about the golden calf. I'm like, really? They worship the golden calf? And then I was like, yeah, I really like my Audi,
Yeah.
So there's nothing new under the sun.
100%.
And
Yeah.
right. And every time I hear a story and think they're idiots, I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot too.
Yeah.
And it's
You're
just
the man.
amazing. Yeah, that's just the beauty of it. And God loves us just the same, right?
Yeah.
And if we were the only person on the planet, he still would have sent Jesus. And that's just amazing to me, right?
Yeah. Crazy thankful, man. So
Yeah. Amen.
right on, Greg. Well, any parting words of wisdom or anything like that, man?
Be grateful.
I love
Be
that.
grateful.
Yeah. Dude,
I think that's the one thing the Apostle Paul talked about more than anything is being grateful no matter what season you're in. If you have a lot, if you have a little, right? And he said that shackled to the ground.
Yeah.
Be grateful.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I love that, man. I think that's awesome. Man, I just I would something that I feel like the Lord's kind of been working on me with is just really knowing that each one of us has something unique that this world needs, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we can use it for good or we could use it for not good. And I just I'm trying to find out what that is. Like I know it's him and I know it's my closeness with him and then my how I carry myself and dude, I fall all the time, man. Like I've made so many mistakes, like it's insane. But I just I'm super encouraged, I'm super hopeful. And I would just say like you matter, like people matter.
I love that.
There's something that the Lord's got for you out there. And I think that that it's definitely something worth living for, man. So
well, I know you're always an encouragement to me. I love seeing your videos. I'm really appreciative that you invited me on this podcast or whatever we're doing here. I mean, I'm encouraged. So thanks again for the invite. I appreciate it. We'll have to do it again soon.
we'll get another one face to face, and I'll get out.
Yeah.
I'll get out on the links with you at some point here soon, and maybe you show me a thing or two, because I'm definitely not 5 or 6, man. I'll tell you that. So,
It'll be fun. You know what? It's always just about hanging out, right? And yeah, let's do it. I look forward to it.
I appreciate you, Greg, and thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit, man.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon.
Talk soon. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.